Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Story Time with the Birmingham Public Library. This is our summer reading program, Tales and Tales, and today I have some mice tales to share with you from around the world. Our first story comes from Cuba, and it goes like this. Once upon a time, there was a familia or family of mice. There was Mama Raton, that's Mommy Mouse. There was Papa Raton, that's Daddy Mouse. There was Hermana Raton, Sister Mouse, and there was Hermano Raton, Brother Mouse. Well, it was a beautiful day, and they decided to go on a picnic. So Mama and Papa got busy in the kitchen. Papa made pimento cheese sandwiches, and Mama cut up some bananas and strawberries and apples, and then they packed it all in a picnic basket, and they set off for the picnic spot. Well, when they got there, they sat down and they started to eat. It was so good. Mama said, I think I have eaten so much I may pop. Kids, let's take a siesta. But Hermana and Hermano didn't want to take a nap. They said, oh, no, please, por favor, let us go play. And Mama and Papa looked at one another and said, okay, but remember, there's a cat that lives behind the fence over there. Stay away from that fence and stay away from the cat. And so brother and sister promised, yes, we promise we will stay away from that fence and that cat. And they went to play. Oh, they had the best time in the meadow. They played hide and seek. 1, 2, 3, peekaboo! And Hermano wanted that. And they played chase, and Hermano wanted that. And then they played spin around until you get so dizzy that you fall down. And they both wanted that. But the whole time they were playing, they were curious. They had never seen a cat up close and in person, or I guess in cat. They had read books about cats. They had seen pictures of cats. They had heard their mama and papa talk about cats, and they wanted to see a cat. They were so curious. And so Hermana said, let's just go sneaking over to the fence and take a peek. And Hermano said, no, we promised. But Hermana said, oh, you're just a scaredy cat. And so the two of them went sneaking up to the fence. And they peered through a slat. And there, on the other side of the fence, was El Gato, the cat. It had pointed ears. It had whiskers and slanty eyes that were just squinted, and a tail that went flip-flop, flip-flop, flip-flop. As they watched the cat watched them. But the cat didn't do anything, and they wanted the cat to do something. And so Hermana said, Hola, gato. And brother copied her. Hola, gato. But the cat didn't do anything. And so then brother got silly. Hola, gato flaco, which means hello, skinny cat. And sister copied him. Hola, gato flaco. But the cat still didn't do anything that they noticed. The cat's eyes got narrower. Its tail stopped flopping. It started to tense up. And then it sprang for the fence, and it clawed its way towards the top, but it missed, and it fell back, and it hit its nose. Well, brother and sister Mouse thought that was the funniest thing they had ever seen. You can't get a sniffing and a boo-boo. Hola, gato flaco. They were laughing so hard, rolling around on the ground, and tears were coming from their eyes. They didn't notice the cat get back up and start to pace back and forth in front of the fence. And then the cat crouched and sprang again, this time leading with its claws and clawing all the way till it got to the top. And then it sat on the top of the fence and looked down at those little mice. The two little mouse looked up at the cat, and they said, adios! And they vamoosed as fast as they could. The cat jumped off the fence and started chasing them and was gaining with every bound. And then the little mice, with a final burst of speed, jumped through the bushes back to the mama and papa. They said, Mama, Papa, a cat, he is chasing us, he's gonna eat us. And Papa looked, and he didn't see El Gato. He said, if a cat tries eat my babies, I would go pow, 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 pow. And that would be the end of the cat. Just then, the cat jumped over the bushes, and Papa said, ah! And he jumped behind Mama. And Hermana and Hermano said, ah! Ah! And they jumped behind Mama. And now the only thing between her familia and El Gato was Mama. What would she do? She pulled herself up to every 2 inches of her height. She looked that cat straight in the eye and she said, "Ow! Woof, 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 woof. Ruff, 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 ruff." The cat looked around. What's going on? This is crazy, a barking mouse. And he jumped back over the bushes and ran away. Mama could not believe it had worked. She very quickly packed up her familia and got them back home. And when they were safe and sound in their own kitchen, she said, "You see, kids, I always told you it pays to know a second language." And that is the story of The Barking Mouse by Antonio Sacra, a Cuban folktale. From Cuba, I thought it would be fun to travel to Asia or also Central America or also Africa, because this story has origins in all of those places. It's called The Mouse Bride. Sometimes it's called The Strongest of All, but it's about a little mouse who wanted to be more powerful. You see, once upon a time, there was a little mouse. She was very kind. She was very clever. She was also very beautiful, but she wanted to be more powerful. You see, she was so small. She thought that she must be weak, and she wanted to marry somebody and have a family, but she wanted her children to be more powerful too. And so she thought, and then she came up with an idea. She decided that she would go in search of the most powerful creature in the world, and that's who she would marry. The very next morning, she set off down the road. As she walked, the sun rose in the sky, and the day grew warmer and warmer and warmer until beads of perspiration started to drip down her forehead. The little mouse thought, I wonder. And so she called up to the sun. She said, "Oh, yoo-hoo, Mr. Sun." And the sun replied, "Yes." "Are you very powerful?"
"Oh, yes, I am very powerful. Why, I bring warmth and light to the earth. Without me, there could be no life. I am very powerful indeed."
"Well, then, I want to ask you to marry me because you're the most powerful creature in the world."
Wait just a moment now. That's very sweet of you. I am very powerful, it is true, but there is one who is more powerful than I.
"Who could be more powerful than the sun?"
A cloud. A cloud can cover my face, blocking my warmth and my light. Go and find yourself a cloud.
And so the little mouse said, "Okay, thank you." And she went walking down the road. It wasn't long before a great big cloud blew up and covered the face of the sun. Oh, wow, that sun was telling the truth. That cloud really is powerful. And so she called up to the cloud. She said, "Oh, yoo-hoo, Mr. Cloud." And the cloud answered, "Yes." Are you very powerful?" "Oh, yes, I am very powerful. Why, I bring rain wherever I go. I fill lakes and oceans and streams. I block the sun's light. I am very powerful indeed." "Well, then, would you marry me? Because you're the most powerful creature in the world, and I want to marry somebody powerful." The cloud said, Wait just a moment now. I am very powerful, it is true, but there is one who is more powerful than I." "Well, who could be more powerful than a cloud?" "The wind. The wind can blow me whither it wishes. Go and find yourself the wind." "Well, okay, thank you very much." And so the little mouse went on down the road in search of the wind. She didn't have far to travel when a big wind gusted up and blew that cloud right out of the sky. Wow. She called up to the wind, "Oh, yoo-hoo, Mr. Wind!" And the wind answered back, "Yes. Are you very powerful?" "Oh, yes, I am very powerful indeed. I can blow clouds across the sky, determining who will get sunlight and warmth and who will get rain. I am very powerful indeed." "Well, then, I want to ask you, will you marry me? Because I want to marry somebody very powerful, and you seem to be the most powerful creature in the world." I am powerful, it is true, but there is one who is more powerful than I." "Who could be more powerful than the wind?" "A wall. Go and find yourself a wall. A wall can block my wind. It can stop me in my tracks. A wall is much more powerful than I." "A wall? Well, okay, thank you, bye." And she went on down the road. She hadn't gone too much farther when she did, in fact, come to a wall. It was a red brick wall. And so she called out to that wall. She said, "Oh, you, Mr. Wall." And the wall didn't answer. Maybe you'll have to help me try. Let's try it again. "Oh, you, Mr. Wall." This time, the wall woke up and answered,
Yes?
"Are you very powerful?" "Oh, yes, I am very powerful. I can stop the wind in its tracks. I can block the sun's rays if you stand in my shade. I can even shelter you from the rain. I am very powerful." "Well, then, I want to ask you, will you marry me? Because you seem to be the most powerful creature in the world, and that's who I want to marry." And the wall said, "It is true I am very powerful, but there is one who is more powerful than I." "Well, who could be more powerful than a wall?" "A mouse. A mouse nibbles and gnaws at my foundation until I crumble and fall. Go and find yourself a mouse." Well, that little mouse looked around to the other side of the wall, and there she saw another mouse. And he was handsome. She said, "Excuse me, little mouse?" And the little mouse came over and said, "Yes, you're awfully handsome, and I hear you're awfully powerful." "I don't know how powerful I am." "Well, the wall says you're very powerful, and I believe the wall. I have a question for you." And she dropped down on one knee. She said, "Will you marry me?" And he looked at her, and his heart went pitter-patter, pitter-patter, pitter-patter. He said, "Sure." And so the two of them were married, and they lived happily ever after. The end. Oh, so I hope you enjoyed that story. And if you liked The Mouse Bride and you also enjoyed The Barking Mouse, I hope you'll go to the library and find more stories like this. Hope to see you guys soon. Much love to you all. Mwah. Goodbye.